Hello, family. How are you today? I hope you are feeling healthy and happy. I also hope your English is improving every day. Over time, you will become fluent in English. I am here to help you achieve this goal. Subscribe to my channel. It will be very helpful in your journey to be fluent in English. Speaking English well is something many people want. Looking back to my days when I was a student like you, I also wanted to speak English better. I was shy and made many mistakes. One day, a teacher told me, "You can get better at English if you practice every day." That advice changed everything for me. If you want to improve, you need to work at it. Getting proficient at English takes time. It's like growing a plant. You put the seed in the ground, water it, and give it sunlight. Every day, you take care of it. Over time, the plant grows tall and strong. This is the reality of learning English. One day, a student approached me looking sad. She said, "Teacher, I really want to speak English well, but I keep forgetting the words." I gave her a reassuring smile and said, "Don't be concerned. Being fluent doesn't mean you have to remember every word. It's more about practicing regularly." She looked at me with a new shine of hope in her eyes. "But where can I practice?" she asked. I told her, "You can practice all around you. Talk with your friends, listen to stories, and sing along to songs. You can practice all the time." When I was in school, I loved stories. I'd listen to them every night. My teacher read to us, and I would repeat the words. At first, I was slow, but over time I got faster. I learned new words and felt more confident. Another student asked me, "Teacher, is speaking fast the only way to be fluent?" I said no. Being fluent means speaking clearly. It's about making sure others understand you. You don't need to talk fast. You need to speak with confidence. There was a boy in my class who talked very fast, and no one could understand him. I told him, "Slow down. Speak clearly. Use simple words." He listened, and soon everyone could understand him. He felt more confident and enjoyed speaking in English. Being fluent is like a journey. You move step by step. You move step by step. You don't rush. You enjoy the process. One day, you look back and see how much you have learned. Many students who were scared to speak at first became fluent with time and practice. There is a simple way to become fluent. There is an effortless secret to becoming fluent. Listening is the secret. Listen to people speaking English. Listen to stories. songs, and conversations. The more you listen, the more you learn. I knew a girl who loved music. She listened to English songs every day. Soon, she started singing along. Her English improved as she listened and repeated the words. Another important thing is to not be afraid of mistakes. Mistakes help us learn. I remember a student who was terrified of making mistakes. She didn't speak because she thought others would laugh at her. I told her, "Don't worry about mistakes. Every mistake teaches you something." One day, she decided to speak in class. She made many mistakes, but she didn't stop. She kept talking. After some time, she improved. She said to me, "Teacher, I'm not scared anymore." That was when she started to become fluent. Fluency also means thinking in English. When you think in English, you speak more naturally. I once had a student who always translated from his own language to English. This made him slow and confused. I told him to try to think in English. Even when you are alone, think in English. He practiced this, and slowly he became fluent. I once had a student who loved to talk. He enjoyed discussing a wide range of topics, but he struggled with one particular issue. He would start a sentence in English, but then switch to his own language. I told him to try to stay in English. Even if you don't know a word, explain it in English. This helped him focus, and soon he was speaking only in English. Another way to become fluent is through reading. Reading allows you to observe the construction of sentences and acquire new vocabulary. When I was learning English, I read simple books. Every time I found a new word, I wrote it down. Then I would use it to make sentences. This helped me remember the words and use them when I spoke. One day, a student brought me a book. She said, "Teacher, I read this book, but I didn't understand everything." I told her, "That's okay." The more you read, the more you read, the more you will understand. She kept reading every day. After some time, she told me, "Now I understand much more." Her fluency improved as she read and learned new things every day. Fluency also entails listening to yourself. Sometimes you can record yourself when you speak. Then, listen to the recording. This will help you find where you need to improve. I had a student do this every day. She would read a story and record her voice. Then, she would listen to it and figure out ways to improve. This made her more aware of her speaking, and soon she became fluent. Another beneficial way to practice is with a friend. I had two students who were best friends. They decided to speak only in English to each other. Every day, they had conversations in English. When one of them didn't know a word, the other would help. Over time, they both became very fluent. They learned from each other and had fun doing it. Fluency also arises when you use English in real-life situations. For example, when you go to the market, try speaking in English. Use English when you are with friends. The more you practice, the better you become. I had a student working in a shop. He decided to speak only in English with his customers. At first, it was challenging for him, but after some time, he became confident and fluent. Being fluent also means being curious. When you come across a new word, don't just ignore it. Look up its meaning and try to use it in your next chat. I remember a student who was always eager to learn. Whenever he heard a new word, he would ask me what it meant and then use it as much as he could. Because of his curiosity, his vocabulary and fluency grew. Having a clear goal is important too. Ask yourself why you want to be fluent in English. Having a specific goal makes you more motivated. A student wanted to visit an English-speaking country. Her goal was clear, so she practiced English every day to be ready for her trip. Her motivation helped her become fluent before she left. Enjoying the process is also key. Fluency doesn't happen quickly. It takes time and effort. But if you find joy in learning, it becomes easier. I once had a student who loved watching English films. He watched one movie each night. At first, he used subtitles, but soon he stopped using them. He enjoyed the movies, and this helped him get better at English. Fluency comes from repeating things. The more you say something, the better you get. I remember a student who loved to repeat sentences. When he heard something in class, he would say it again and again. This helped him remember the sentences, and soon he was using them in his daily conversations. Talking to different people also helps with fluency. Everyone has their own way of speaking. When you talk to many people, you learn new ways to speak. I had a student who was very shy. He only talked to me. I told him to try speaking with other students. At first, he was scared, but after some time, he became more relaxed. He learned new ways to talk, and his fluency got better. It's also helpful to speak about things you like. When you talk about something you love, the words come out more easily. I once had a student who loved football. Every day, he would tell me about football because he was excited. He talked more, and this helped him get better at speaking. Fluency also means understanding that it's okay not to know every word. Sometimes you may forget or not know a word, and that's fine. Try to explain it in a different way. I had a student who always wanted the exact word for everything. If he didn't know a word, he would stop talking. I told him, if you don't know the word, describe it. This helped him keep talking, even when he didn't know all the words. One day, a student asked me, "Teacher, how long does it take to become fluent?" I said, "It depends on how much you practice. Some people can be fluent in a few months, and for others, it may take more time. The key is to never give up." That student practiced every day, and soon he saw himself improve. Sometimes it helps to practice in front of a mirror. When you watch yourself speak in the mirror, you notice how you move and express your emotions. I had a shy student who didn't like speaking in front of others. I suggested she practice in front of a mirror. This made her feel more sure of herself, and soon she started speaking more easily. Another student asked me, "Teacher, what should I do if I forget a word while talking?" I told him, "Don't stop, just keep talking. Sometimes the word will come to you later, or you can use a different word." This advice helped him stay calm, even when he forgot something. It's also important to rest. Sometimes your brain needs a break. I knew a student who practiced all the time, but she became worn out and frustrated. I told her, "Take a break, relax, and start fresh tomorrow." After she rested, she felt better and kept getting better at speaking. Fluency is also about being creative with English. You can write stories, sing songs, or make videos. I had a student who loved to write. She would write short stories in English every day. This helped her learn new words and how to make better sentences. Soon, she started reading her stories out loud, and her speaking skills got better. Teaching others is another great way to improve. When you teach, you understand more. I had a student who was already very fluent, so she decided to help her friends who were still learning. She taught them new words and practiced speaking with them. This not only helped her friends, but also made her even more fluent. Having a routine can also be helpful. Try setting a specific time every day to practice speaking English. One of my students practiced for 30 minutes every morning. This was his daily habit, and over time, he became more fluent. A routine keeps you focused and ensures that you practice regularly. It's also important to be kind to yourself. Fluency doesn't happen overnight. I had a student who was very impatient. He wanted to speak English fluently right away. When he didn't see progress, he got frustrated. I told him, "Be patient. You are improving, even if it's slow." He listened to me and kept practicing. Over time, he noticed that his skills were improving, and he became more confident. Fluency is more than just speaking. It's also about listening. When you listen carefully, you understand better and can respond in the right way. I had a student who was very good at listening. He always paid attention before speaking, and because of this, his answers were clear and well thought out. Listening plays a huge role in becoming fluent. Another important thing is to keep a positive mindset. Learning a language can be hard, but staying positive makes the journey easier. I remember a student who was always cheerful, even when she made mistakes. She would laugh and try again. Her positive attitude kept her motivated, and soon she became fluent. Fluency is also a result of trying new things and being open to change. Sometimes you need to step out of your comfort zone. I had a student who spoke well in class, but was shy outside of school. I encouraged her to speak to new people in real life. At first, she was nervous, but with practice, she became more confident and fluent. It's helpful to learn from others who are already fluent. Observe how they talk, notice their tone, and learn from the way they communicate. I had a student who idolized a famous English speaker. She would watch his videos and try to copy his way of speaking. This really helped her become more fluent. Fluency is a result of a variety of factors: practice, patience, listening, speaking, and even making mistakes all contribute to fluency. All of these parts matter. Once, I told my students that fluency is like making a dish. You need all the right ingredients, and you have to mix them properly. This example helped them realize that each part of learning is important. It's also key to celebrate small successes. Every time you learn a new word or speak without stopping, it's something to be proud of. I had a student who celebrated every little win. It made her feel positive and kept her motivated. Celebrating small victories helps you see how far you've come and keeps you going. One day, a student asked me, "Teacher, what should I do if I forget what to say?" I told him it's okay to stop for a moment and think. Take a deep breath and then continue. This advice helped him stay calm when he faced difficulties while speaking. He learned to manage his pauses and his fluency improved. Fluency is also about applying what you learn. If you learn a new word today, try to use it tomorrow. I had a student who made it a habit to learn one new word each day and use it in a sentence right away. This simple habit helped him remember the words better and use them naturally in conversation. Learning from what's around you is another thing that really helps. You can pick up English from signs, posters, or even menus. I had a student who loved walking around the city. Whenever he saw an English sign, he would stop, read it, and try to understand it. This way, he learned new words and phrases, which he later used when speaking. Being curious about the culture behind the language also helps a lot. Many countries speak English, each with its own distinctive dialect. I had a student who was fascinated by British English. He would watch British TV shows and explore their culture. This helped him understand different accents and ways of speaking, as well as making his English more fluent. Fluency isn't just about words. It's about how you express yourself, too. Your body language plays a big part in how you communicate. I once had a student who was excellent at using body language to express himself. Even though his sentences were simple, his body language made him appear more fluent. This allowed him to communicate more effectively. It's also a beneficial idea to challenge yourself from time to time. Try speaking about a topic you're not familiar with. It helps you learn new vocabulary and ideas. I had a student who loved sports, but one day he chose to talk about science. At first, it was hard, but over time, he learned new words and became more confident discussing different subjects. When you are calm, your fluency will also improve. When you feel relaxed, your words flow more naturally. I once had a student who felt very tense when speaking. I suggested he take deep breaths before starting. This simple technique helped him relax, and soon his fluency improved. Asking questions is another helpful practice. When you ask questions, you open the door to conversations. One of my students was excellent at this. He would ask his classmates about their day, hobbies, and interests. By staying engaged in conversations, he became more fluent over time. It's important to reflect on your progress too. Every few weeks, take a moment to think about how much you've improved and celebrate your growth. One of my students kept a journal to track his progress. Every week, he wrote about what he had learned and how he was improving. This helped him see the progress he made, which motivated him to continue. Fluency is also about being adaptable. Sometimes, you need to change the way you say something to make it clearer. I had a student who was outstanding at this. If someone didn't understand him, he would rephrase his sentence until they did. This ability to adapt made him more fluent, allowing him to handle different situations more easily. Connecting with other learners is another crucial aspect of fluency. Learning with others allows you to share experiences and learn from each other. One of my students joined an English club. Every week, she met with other learners to practice speaking. This not only kept her motivated, but also helped her improve her fluency. Setting small, achievable goals is also helpful. Instead of saying, "I want to be fluent," focus on smaller goals, such as, "I want to learn 5 new words this week." I had a student do this on a regular basis. By setting small, achievable goals each week, she built confidence. Over time, these small steps added up, and she became fluent. Fluency is also about determination. Even when it feels challenging, don't give up. I once had a student who struggled with English for a long time. Many times he felt like quitting, but he kept trying. One day, he realized he was speaking much more fluently than before. His determination had paid off. It's also useful to revisit what you've learned. Going back to old lessons can strengthen your memory. One of my students made it a habit to review her notes every month. This helped her remember key points and gave her more confidence in using the language. Staying open-minded is another important aspect of fluency. You might hear different ways of saying the same thing, and that's okay. I had a student who was very interested in different accents and dialects of English. He learned how people from various regions spoke, which made him more flexible and able to communicate in different situations. When you enjoy a language, your fluency also grows. Find something you love in English, whether it's a book, a movie, or a song. One student of mine loved English poetry. She would read poems every day, trying to understand them. This passion made her more enthusiastic about the language and improved her fluency. It's also important to seek feedback. When you speak, ask someone to let you know how you did. I had a student who would always ask me for feedback after each conversation. This helped him understand where he could improve and recognize what he was already doing well. Feedback is a critical tool for becoming more fluent. Using flashcards is another effective way to boost fluency. Write down new words on cards and review them regularly. One of my students created flashcards for every new word he came across. He would go over them daily, which helped him remember the words and use them naturally in conversations. Fluency also involves being comfortable with pauses. Sometimes you need a second to think before you speak, and that's okay. I had a student who was nervous about silence. He felt pressured to speak immediately. I explained to him that it's fine to pause and gather his thoughts. This made him feel more at ease, and his speech became clearer. Remember, learning phrases, not just individual words, is another helpful strategy. When you learn phrases, you understand how words fit together. I had a student who focused on learning common phrases, and it made her sentences sound more natural and fluent. Fluency is also about having a sense of curiosity about the world around you. Learning about different cultures and ideas gives you more to talk about. I had a student who was passionate about history. Although the path to fluency can be challenging, it is always rewarding. Just like a river steadily flows to the ocean, your consistent efforts will bring you closer to your goal. Fluency isn't just about speaking smoothly. It's about connecting with the world and expressing your unique perspective. Each new word you learn and every sentence you speak builds bridges to deeper understanding and new friendships. So keep learning, keep speaking, and let your voice shine. Now I'm curious. What motivates you to continue on your journey to fluency? I'd love to hear your thoughts.